everyone, my name is Richie and welcome to my channel. Today is a good day because today we're talking about the best books I read in the first half of 2019. So I've actually never done one of these videos on my channel. I always wait until the end of the year because I'm always like, this is gonna spoil my end of the year favorite books of the year. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, that's a stupid position. Why did I think that? Let's just go for it. So that's what we're doing today. Also, I've read a lot of good books this year, so this was really hard. Anyways, we're gonna start right into it because that's a long list. The first one I have is A Chaos Standing Still by Brody. I freaking loved this book. This is a great portrayal of grief. This is about a girl whose best friend died almost a year ago to the date that this book is taking place. She gets stuck in the airport and is going to be stuck there for the anniversary of her best friend's death. She is just having a hard time grieving, and this book explores her grieving process while she's stuck in an airport. I think it's beautiful. I'm not going to go into too many details about this one because I have a full review of it, so go check that out. Next up, we have An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. Part of the reason this book is on the list is it just blew me away. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. Highly anticipating the sequel. This is a low sci-fi story about a young girl named April May, which is just the most funny name, first of all. When she runs across this metal structure that she thinks might be an art exhibit, she gets her best friend to come out and film her. Their video goes super viral because turns out this is not like an art exhibit, or if it is, it's an art exhibit all over the world. I told you it's light sci-fi, so you can guess that it's maybe not that. The point is, it's a really great portrayal of internet fame, culture blowing up, being a 20-something, like just really great voice. April May has like the most true voice I've read of a 20-something, which is remarkable. Him to have in his debut written such a strong voice. Also, April May is bi, which is fantastic. Next up, we have Water Runs Red by Jenna Claire. This is so great because it's modern poetry that I actually liked. Say what? Jenna, if you don't know, which I don't know how you wouldn't, but Jenna is a YouTuber. This is like an experience unto itself. It is modern poetry, but it has Jenna's photography within it, and it tells such a beautiful story, and it's so much richer for the way she put it together, and I think it's so smart and so clever and so well done. Yes, I'm biased because I'm friends with Jenna. I'm actually even in the like acknowledgement section under the like book friends. If we can take that aside for a moment, this is just like literally the best modern poetry I've ever read. Next up, we have All American Boys, which is by Jason Reynolds and someone else. Brandon Kelly, I think. It's about a young boy who is beat up by a police officer. That police officer misinterpreted what was happening, and so it's his perspective being the kid who was beat up by a police officer, and then also follows a white kid who is a family friend of the police officer. And it follows two different perspectives and like a learning process. It's just really good. It's so good. I highly recommend it. If you like The Hate U Give, if you liked Tyler Johnson Was Here, if you liked Dear Martin, pick up this book. It's so good. You will like it. Next up, we have On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. Anything that Angie Thomas ever writes is going to be auto-buy for me, is probably going to be a favorite because she's just so fantastic. This is a story of our main character, Bree, wants to be a rapper, and her aspirations and why she wants that are so pure. It's to help out her family. Like, she wants the fame, she wants the notoriety, but she wants to mainly be able to help out her family. As she's trying to make a name for herself and try to help her family, she writes a song about an experience she had with a security guard at her school, and her video goes viral, blows up for all the wrong reasons, and it's a great discussion about so many things. Poverty, the Black experience, especially in schools, and in schools that are like Garden Heights High. I think that's where she goes. I don't know, but like the high school she goes to that are just plagued by certain issues that are so systemic and so unnecessary but exist. And also about internet and assumptions and making the right choices and understanding when you put a message out, your voice can be interpreted however it's going to be interpreted, and you don't get to say how that interpretation goes. It's just like so many great things in this book. I loved it. Next up, we have The Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is like a 60-page book that had me sobbing the entire way through. It's about this woman who finds these letters from another woman. So she realizes her husband has been cheating on her, and so she writes the guy who's married to the woman. Yeah? Does that make sense? And she writes a letter being like, yo, sorry to break the news, your wife is cheating on you with my husband, so I get it. Do you have his half of the letters? Because I'd like to see what he said. And they start a correspondence amongst themselves and like have their own bonding moment over like being cheated on. And oh my God, it's so beautiful and so sad and like got me. I was sobbing literally the entire way through. From like page 3 to the end, I was done. It was a quick read, highly recommend it because just read it, the emotions, the feels, it's just so good. Next up, we have Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. New adult contemporary, but it's like an alt history in a way because this follows a woman president who was elected in the 2016 election. She was a Democrat from Texas who won the presidency. It's super like idealistic, obviously, but it's also beautiful, and it's about her son, so the first son, having a scuffle with Prince Henry from the UK, from the royal family, and they have a scuffle that becomes, you know, public knowledge, and for PR purposes they have to pretend to be friends, and then a romance blooms, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful, and it just makes me happy thinking about this, and I love this book so much. They are my OTP forever. This is a fantastic book. This is definitely a little steamy. I say a little, it's like medium steamy, I'd say, so know that going in. I don't know if that's been properly addressed. I know a lot of people have been like, whoa, I didn't expect that. There are some, you know, political discussions, so if you hate politics, that's a thing. Next up, we have Becoming by Michelle Obama, which is, oh my God, Michelle Obama is a wonderful woman. She goes into all of it. She goes so deep in heart. She goes into her heart and soul, and she digs it up and puts it in this book, and I loved it. She goes into journals, she goes into thoughts, she goes into her youth, and it's just so wonderful to see this side of her, how she felt. She wasn't always on board with Barack's like political career, which I mean, I had heard that, I knew that, but like seeing it from her perspective, having her voice tell that story, trying to find her career and trying to navigate her marriage and all the things that she's done that she's like known for, and knowing that even she had these insecurities, it's just beautiful. If you're like a 20-something, doesn't know what to do with your life, read this book. Even if you're not, like, read this book, but like honestly, if you're a 20-something who doesn't know what to do with your life, read this book. Next up, we have Little and Lion by Brody Colbert, and oh my gosh, was this book everything I needed. I've owned it for a while, and I don't know why it took me so long to read it, but I'm so glad I finally did it. We have Little and Lion, which are nicknames, but I'm just calling them that for the sake of simplicity. Little is black, Lion is white. Lion has been recently diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Little is bi, but also in the course of this book discovering that she's bi and how she feels and identifies. So you have all these things, but it's not like, this isn't like a book about race tensions. This isn't a book about coming out or being bi. This isn't a book about mental health. It's a book about all those things. It's a book about being a person, where these amazing, strong, important topics are discussed beautifully, but just like exist in the narrative of Little's life and dealing with Lion and helping him. And it's just like, the friendship dynamics, the sibling dynamics, the discussion of living with someone who has a mental illness, the discussion of going out with a family member who doesn't look visually like you, but is clearly your family. I can't express to you how much I related to certain parts of this book, so much of this book. It's fantastic though. I love the way it's written. I have to read everything Brody Colbert has ever written. Next up, we have The Test by Sylvia Plath. And this is a short story, a man who goes to take a citizenship test, and let's just say the citizenship test is not all that he anticipates. Something happens while he's there, and it is a ride. For like 100-page short story, you will have emotions, you will have feelings, you will have thoughts, you will have opinions, you will feel the feels, and not just in like a sobbing way, because like I don't think I cried in this, but you'll just be like, wait, what? I can't even express to you how much I love this. I just highly recommend. I can't recommend it enough. It's so good. Next up, we have A Heart and a Body in the World by Deb Coletti. This is such a beautiful book. I underestimated how much I was going to love this book. It is about a girl who has a traumatic event happen to her and decides to kind of deal with that by running across the country. Her relationship with her grandfather is fantastic. It deals with important topics of today. I don't want to tell you too much about this book because I don't want to spoil anything for you. I think the plot points are pretty predictable, but in the event that that's not the case for you, I don't want to spoil anything in case you want to figure it out on your own. So I'm not going to, but just know it's so good. It's so powerful. It's number 2 for a reason. Go read it. Number 1 on this list, to nobody's surprise, or maybe all of your surprise, I actually don't know, is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I did not expect to love this book as much as I did. I won't be talking about it too much here because I've been trying to talk about it since I first read it. I'm trying to write a review for it since I first read it, and I haven't been able to express myself properly on my feelings or thoughts about this book. I'm considering rereading this book so that I can review it properly because it meant that much to me and I would like to have a review for it. It's about womanhood in the 50s. It's about a woman trying to find her place in the world, about identity, careers, finding yourself, mental illness, mental health. It's just a lot. It's heavy, it's dark, it's a lot, but it's so much more than I was led to believe. And I think that's what really struck me about this book. I read it in February. I haven't reviewed a book since because I've been trying to review this book since February and haven't reviewed any other books because I've been trying to review this book. So I just can't express to you how much I loved it, how much it meant to me. So that is all for my favorite books I've read so far in 2019. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, click the bell notification, you know the drill. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!